Many blessings, my loves, and sending you so much love on this full moon eve. My name is Rebekah, and this is my full moon report for Pillars of the Moon. So, welcome, everyone. Get comfy. We're just going to dive into the energies of this full moon, the fullness of this cycle. And the moon will be coming to her fullness tomorrow. For us in England, in the GMT time zone, we will be 10:57 a.m. will be the fullness of the moon. And we have a really watery, oceanic, Piscean moon this full moon. So we're going to have a little quick recap just so we can see where we've been. And as I'm recording this evening, it's raining so much here. So many storms, so much rain. And I think this is really connected to all of these energies of this full moon. So yes, we had our new moon in Leo, and that was when Mercury went direct. That was over on the 15th. Since then, we've had our first quarter moon and the sun crossing, not the sun, the moon crossing over the galactic center as it came into its first quarter. And then the sun over in Virgo, which was in Virgo, and it crossed over our M87, which is a super massive black hole in the constellation Virgo, our anti-galactic center. It's a really powerful point in our solar system. So then we had our autumn equinox, and now, or our spring equinox, depending where we are in the world. So for those of us who are in the northern hemisphere, we are now coming into the darker part of the year, and those of you in the south are coming up into the lighter part of the year. So the equinox time was that time of balance, equal day, equal night. And now we find ourselves approaching the full moon in Pisces. So the last quarter moon will be in Gemini on the 6th. A few days after that, Pluto will be going direct just in time for the new moon solar eclipse ring of fire. Woo! So yeah, we've got some big energies ahead of us with the new eclipse season, and I'll be doing another video on that. So, but for today, we will be tuning into the energies of this particular full moon. So that's our little recap, and then we're going to go over into the live sky. So many of you know that I love using Stellarium Web for my visionings and my reports, because I like to see where things really are. And you can all use Stellarium Web. It's a free astronomy web program where you can see the positions of the planets and the asteroids and the constellations and things, and where things are really situated. So I use, many of you know, I use constellational astrology, live sky astrology, 13 star sign astrology. There's lots of names for it. But for me, it's just the sky as it really is. And Western astrology doesn't match the sky. I'm not going to go in details as to why that is right now, but if you have more questions around that, you're welcome to ask me. But I think if you're here and you're interested, let's just see what comes up around this full moon. So we're going to change the time back. 10:57 was what I said, wasn't it? 29th. Make sure that's all good. Okay, so we can see this is the constellation Pisces here. Constellation Pisces is actually quite a large constellation. You can see it takes up quite a long part of the ecliptic. If you look at it compared to Aries and how small that constellation is in comparison to the Pisces stars, you know, so it's quite a big energy that we're working with. So when we are attuning to this full moon, you know, we've got lots of we've got Neptune. Neptune is currently in Pisces, in early Pisces here. Neptune is also connected to Poseidon, the lord of the ocean. You always see him with a trident. He's like the master of the waves. You know, in planetary wisdom. You know, we connect Neptune to our dreams and our visions, sometimes delusions, fogginess, confusion, and also in constellation Pisces right now is, I'm going to try and say this right, Amphitrite. It's not Aphrodite. Amphitrite. I think I've said that right. So I never even heard of her before, and I was looking up this. This is an asteroid in our asteroid belt called Amphitrite. Trite. Amphitrite, I think that's right. Anyway, so she is actually the consort or the lover or the partner of Neptune. So look at that. What an amazing coincidence that this full moon is just like sandwiched in between these two. So Amphitrite, oh gosh, it's such a blur to say because I've not actually said it before, but she is goddess of the ocean. So we've got the god of the ocean with his queen, you know, the goddess of the ocean. So very oceanic feels, you know. So we're really connecting with these energies at the time of this full moon. And we've also got, let's look up Eris. Eris is a dwarf planet. She is with our north node at the moment. So the north node of the moon is around here. And this is the Cetus constellation. So she's actually in the borders of Cetus. You know, she's gone now. So she, with the North Node here, this is really shaking things up for us because Eris is connected to discord. You know, she's the one I talked about in my new moon report that chucked in the apple into the room of the goddesses and asked them which was the fairest of them all. I've just brought up Chiron as well. So Chiron is also in Pisces right now, close to Eris, close to the North Node, close to Amphitrite. And on the other side, we have Neptune. So this is a real interesting energy. You know, Chiron's all about our wounds and healing, like the wounded healer or the wounds that will not heal or the Achilles heel, you know, and Aries, you know, really wanting to shake things up and get us to really look at those wounds, you know. And so when we are connecting to Neptune as well, and his wife, lover, consort, they, you know, they really are the governors of the ocean and the waves and the tides. And something about the Pisces energy that's really worthy, I think, of bringing in is that Pisces can also represent chaos in itself. Like, I feel like, because, you know, when we're thinking of the ocean and there's a chaos in the ocean and there's an unpredictability in the unknown, you know. And actually when you look at the fish, of the Pisces fish, one's going that way, one's going this way, so there's can be this energy of confusion, not knowing which direction we're going. That's definitely been a thing for me at the moment. So the north node of the moon, which is our collective destiny and where we're going towards, you know, we could be feeling a lot of confusion around our collective destiny and where we're going, lots of blurriness and illusions, and, you know, all connected to Chiron and Eris, you know. And this it feels like a reckoning, a collective reckoning of our wounds and really bringing them to our attention. So this full moon, you know, we could be feeling really, really watery and emotional. You know, we could be seeing lots of rain, lots of storms, lots of kind of feelings of chaos and disruption, things not feeling settled. Just imagining that you was in the ocean and it felt really choppy. You could be on a boat or wherever you was on, you know, maybe you're on just, maybe you don't even have a boat, you're just like flapping around in the sea. You don't know what's beneath you, you know. So there could be feelings this full moon, like just wanting to put our feet down and wanting to anchor and wanting to feel that groundedness. And this is where we really can turn to Virgo, which is where the sun is right now. And so Virgo and Pisces, they really do need each other. So we can see our sun here is the constellation Virgo. And Pallas Athena is right with the sun. Pallas Athena, goddess of justice and truth and wisdom. Mercury is about to go into Virgo, not quite there yet, just on the end of Leo. Mars is in Virgo. Ceres is just coming out of Virgo, going into Libra. So the energy of Virgo and how Virgo can help Pisces, you know, the way that I perceive Virgo is like the midwife. She is the guardian at the gates of Libra, you know, like she is the doula, you know, the birth keeper. She is the wise one. She's the witch. She's the priestess, the high priestess. And so she can, with her acquired wisdom and knowledge, you know, it's like the midwife that can track the contractions of the laboring woman. So imagining the laboring woman is like Pisces in the waves of the ocean, of the unpredictable chaos of this transformation of like, we don't know where we're going, we don't know what's happening. So the Virgo energy can bring some order to the chaos. You know, so what the Virgo energy can bring us is a scope of vision that can show a pattern. It can show us the waves and the patterns that might be happening for us, and it can say, aha, this might be cyclical, this happened at the last full moon or the last time such and such was in Pisces, or you know. So the Virgo energy can make links between things, and she can bring like a real a groundedness to the wateriness. You know, it's like the banks of the river. It can help direct the river back to the sea. You know, so the energy of the earth working with the water, it brings like a container so the water can feel held. You know, so the Virgo energy being like the midwife, it's like the holding of the ocean, you know, the holding of the water, and also guiding the water with like the showing that like, hey, this is part of a bigger cycle, you know, like you're transforming. We can see that, you know, you're in chaos right now, but maybe there's a reason for it, you know. So with Pallas Athena here right now with the sun, you know, we could be really shining the light on this wisdom. And the Virgo energy is so connected to like the logic and the brain, and the left side of the brain more, you know, the scientific, the doctor, you know. So especially with Mercury right here at her head, Mercury, the communicator of the network and the wisdom, and then Pallas Athena, it's all very kind of mindy and technical with this side of the map right now, this side of the sky. And so balancing that is the necessary right side of the brain. It's the unknown, it's the wild, it's the untamed, it's the emotional, it's the creative, you know. So you've got like two beautifully positioned constellations that are both incredibly large in the sky, actually. You know, Virgo and Pisces are both very big constellations, you know, but they are balancing each other. And I think because there's, you know, quite a few planets, especially the personal planets of Mercury and Mars around this area as well, you know, it's really helping. I feel like we could find around this full moon, you know, that we might find that by doing things that are repetitive cycles, like could really ground our energy, like I don't know, like making bread or gathering herbs or writing lists or tidying the fridge or whatever it is, you know. Like it's like a way of helping ground that emotional our emotions. I find it sometimes with my children, my toddler and my 4-year-old. Sometimes, you know, when we're really in our emotion, when they're in their emotional brain, sometimes offering a plan, something logical, like, how could we do this differently next time? We can make a plan, like, oh, a plan. And it takes them from their emotions of things into you know, oh, there could be another way, we could make a solution. And it helps to balance the emotions. And I've seen it happen time and time again, you know, that actually these energies need each other to stay in balance. And that's all about what the equinox is about, right? Balance. We will be tipping into the darker part of the year, but that's for another video. Um, yeah. So let's see, Venus. Yeah, let's celebrate Venus. She's coming into Leo now. Look at her, she's here. And Juno. I've been writing a bit about Juno because she is connected to marriage, especially, and household duties. She's the wife of Jupiter. She's connected to all things woman and childbirth, child rearing, very maternal, like in the home, taking care of, you know, duties of the domestic side of things. The shadow side of Juno is that Jupiter was very not very loyal to her and had lots of lovers other than her. So there's a part of her that is very mistrustful and jealous and may feel betrayed. So Venus has got an interesting opposition to Saturn at the moment, you know, so a lot could be coming up for us around like trusting the masculine, trusting the father, trusting the loyalties that we have with other people in our lives. You know, are they going to hurt me? Are they going to cheat on me? Are they going to leave me? There could be stuff coming up around that. And Venus is journeying with Juno for a little while, so you know a lot of their energies are going to be combined. Venus being very creative and to do with resources and money and beauty and love and all the things we value. You know, so her with Juno, we could be seeing a lot of values and love going into the home and the mothers and those that are rearing children, and maybe like feeling, because Venus in Leo, you know, she's very strong, she's very passionate, she's very feisty, she could feel rage. So it's like this, the feminine energy is really like connecting to Juno and this energy of commitment and marriage and the home and domestic life, you know. So in opposition to Saturn, you know, we could be feeling like this injustice or rage against the patriarchy or the father figure or whatever kind of masculine structure. You know, she's could be saying, well, you know, why is it like this? Why is it this way? Why isn't it, you know, like, why are we not in a village? Why are we doing it this way? You know, and like really wanting to use that fiery, passionate Leo energy to really work with that. So yeah, that could be coming up. So just wanted to talk about her. And also Saturn is retrograde in Aquarius. So he's in a space right now where he is going back and he's really reviewing himself, reviewing his life. He might be looking back at like old books, old journals, like trying to, it's like the Aquarian energy is trying to break through something, think of a new way of doing something, create something innovative. So Saturn is reflecting on his structures and systems. Have they been supportive? Have they not? How could I build a better world, a better structure? You know, so he's looking at the Aquarian energy. He's in a real reflective place in his retrograde where he's like, all right, so let's find some answers here in the Aquarius energy, and let's see if we can, you know, look at what might have worked in the past and things that we've done, you know, and really try and get some inspiration perhaps from those kind of things. So he's in that space, and Venus is in her space with Juno and Leo. So these energies are really kind of could feel quite tense at the moment, you know, like feeling like this, you know, because Saturn can be quite restrictive, you know, so there could be like this restriction on our creativity and on our hearts and lots of kind of like maybe coldness or feeling of like even depression and sadness, you know, about our heart and our creativity and our all that we want to all the things that we value from Venus and Juno. And you know, the Saturn energy is kind of like they're clashing basically, so we might be feeling that at the moment. I want to jump into the full harvest moon chart. So yes, those of us who are in the northern hemisphere, we are going into our harvest moon. And the harvest moon is normally generally, you know, the one that's full moon that's closest to the equinox. And it can generally be quite a lovely golden hue, reddy orangey color. Really nice, big full moon. So we are at this time, you know, those of us who are in the north, you know, before we prepare to descend into this darkness of winter, you know, this full moon in Pisces is so sensitive. You know, we might just want to lock ourselves in our house, make a nice hot bath and reflect on the summer and the spring and all that we've harvested, all that we've grown, what went well, what didn't, and just take this period of this full moon before the eclipse season comes, you know, to attend to our wounds. You know, Chiron, who's also with Eris in the North Node, is opposing the Sun and Pallas Athena right now. So this is like shining a light on our deepest wounds, on our deepest vulnerabilities. And, you know, so we could be feeling like we just need to go within. We need to listen to our feelings and our bodies. So there's like this energy of retreat, I feel. And being a Pisces myself, I know all about this, that, you know, the summer can be so busy and so much happening. And so there's a necessary need for integration after all of the yang and the fire of the summer. You know, we need to bring it back and really reflect so that we can, the reflection is what we need so that we can then say, okay, what needs to go? What didn't work? What do I need to release? What do I need to destroy? What do I need to get rid of? What do I want to grow next year? You know, so when we're looking back, you know, at this time of this threshold of change of the equinox, we're really looking at all of the things that have flowered and come to fruit this year. You know, maybe businesses or partnerships or romances or friendships or whatever it is, you know, like, and just really take space to process the harvest. And this is also what the Virgo energy is really good at, you know. She's really good at the details and getting things worked out. So, and those of you in the south, you know, you're also at a place of reflection, you know, because you're looking back at the winter, you know, and the autumn and all of the things that you shed and all the layers that you let go of and all of the things and the seeds that you took down into the incubation time of the winter with you. And then now you're just about to rebirth yourself, you know, you're just about to pop up out of the soil after your winter womb incubation time. So you could be feeling like this inspiration of growth and expansion and change, you know, but it's really great to take that pause before we step out over the threshold and really reflect on what we've learned during the last 6-month cycle in the light or the dark, you know. And I feel that way we can really, you know, work with the cycle of the year and the cycle of the stars with our absolute intention. And I can say I'm harvesting lots of things this year. And now next year, there's some things that I have to let go of to make room for a new vision. The Neptune energy here with the moon and, you know, it could be, and the North Node, you know, we could be, if we're creating space for ourselves at this full moon for the next few days while the moon is journeying through Pisces, like, can we like really tune into our vision? Neptune can have us feeling real blurry, you know, so we might find that through the rhythmic patterns and the organizing and the sorting of the seeds and cutting away of the old that the Virgo energy does so well. that the Pisces energy might find some clarity. And the storms that come now, you know, even in the spring or the autumn, the winds, they come and they blow things around and they clear the air. Ah, you know, so we may feel like doing breathing practices, pranayama, or shaking, or cleaning. You know, we may find ourselves, you know, pulling up the old plants or pruning, cutting things back. This is all great stuff to be doing. And really trying to be more solitary, you know, have some time out if we can, find space for a bath or connect with the water and dream. You know, I feel like I would be using my mugwort on this full moon tomorrow, like to vision and dream and be inspired by our collective destiny, you know, with the North Node. Where are we actually going? And we're sharing light on our deepest wounds. Quite often we find our biggest strengths and all of the things that we may have been not wanting to look at that have been lost in the ocean. You know, it's like Eris or chaos and discord is like shaking up the ocean. She's gone right down to the ocean floor and she's like shaking it up, and all of these lost parts of ourselves are like bubbling up. And it's like, can we really look at that? You know, with Saturn opposite Venus, you know, we could be feeling quite sad, quite depressed, quite lost in our love for life. So we could be feeling a lot of intensity. So it could be really nourishing. Connect with the water, connect with our inner worlds, connect with the dreams, and feel through the water our connection to everything, our connection to each other, and we're all made out of water, and our connection to the stars. The stars are like ascended water. You know, it's like the gas that ascends from the lake that goes up. You know, it's like we are that, I feel. So it's like, how can we, when we are really moving through our wounds and we're really thanking them, bringing them home, then we can actually start to find our greatest potential in journeying into the dark of the ocean and all that we haven't dared to look at because it's been far too painful, you know. So yeah, this full moon feels like it could be quite a deep one. So yeah, my best advice would be to take some space if you can. Venus is in trine. Venus and Juno in Leo are in trine to Chiron and the North Node. So that's really supportive for our healing our hearts, healing the tribe, healing the marriage and the domestic stuff that might be coming up with Saturn. And then, of course, Mars is with the South Node. So we could be feeling lots of aggression coming through from the past, rage from the past, from our past lives and things that have happened. Oh, you know. And there is like, oh, there's a grand fire trine as well, which I think was there at the new moon with Pluto, Mercury, and Uranus. So yeah, Uranus in Aries, Mercury in Leo, and Pluto in Sagittarius, grand fire trine. So there's a lot of fiery energy as well as watery energy. How can we dance with them both? You know, the fire and the water is actually alchemy. You know, you need both. So how can we work with them both? You know, we could, in fact, have a bath, cleanse our body, and then have a fire. Oh no, we have a fire first, whatever you feel. Have a fire, burn away all the old stuff that you don't need, clear some space, clean the house, and then have a bath. That would be ideal, right? Yeah. So anyway, let's just have a little quick movie over the last quarter moon. Last quarter is on the 6th of the 10th at 23:21. And yes, it will be in Gemini. So this is creating a T-square, ooh, with Chiron and Aries, who we've just had the full moon with. And oh, coming down to the sun. So this is about the shining the light on our wounds. And the moon in Gemini, you know, in its waning phase, is just letting go, releasing, descending, drawing energy back in and home. You know, so we could be feeling, you know, with the Mercury, not Mercury, Gemini energy, that we're really wanting to communicate and share, give a voice to that wound, you know. So we may find that, but by the time we get to the last quarter moon, the week after the full moon, we may have had a load of stuff moving, and we may have been crying and purging or shouting or releasing, however we do that at the full moon. We come into our last quarter moon and we might need to find a friend, have a cup of tea and talk about what happened. You know, we may find, you know, there's always lessons in T squares. There's tension and there's challenge and there's areas that we can grow. So I feel like this will be a really great time to talk about what's been happening for us with a person we feel safe with, to communicate, you know, how we can heal, how we are healing, how we are, you know, or just sharing our experience can bring really great transformation, I've found, just being witnessed in our pain. Yeah, so I think that's all I'm going to share for today, for tonight. So I'm going to upload this now, and hopefully you all found some use and wisdom in all of that. So yeah, I will be back in a few weeks. I'm hoping to do a whole report on the eclipses coming up for you all as well. So yes, and I'm super excited. Some of you have been in contact for readings and things. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. If you are looking to get readings, I'm here and I'm available. So yeah, and please subscribe and share if you love it. So thank you so much. Blessed full moon. Sending you all so much love.